have some iced coffee here. Anyway, hello my fellow aliens. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, I'm Jojo Rarity. And in this episode, I'm going to be talking about the second episode of Loki called The Variant. In this week's episode, Loki comes face to face with this variant and then goes on a quest to find more about the timekeepers and to investigate more. So let's take a deep dive into this week's episode. So the story begins in 1985 at a Renaissance fair, and people are like dressed like that, and then TVA agents are coming in, and then this another Loki variant attacks those TVA agents. And then also one of them is called Hunter C20, and she kind of got kidnapped by that Loki. Since the episode started, it really felt like Legends of Tomorrow, and I love that show. If you know that show, it's a DC show. It's kind of like that because in every episode, then different countries or different year also, they always dress up like that depending on that year, and I really love that show. And that's why seeing that now on a Marvel show is pretty awesome because I really enjoy it, but it's kind of still different. But that's why I understand kind of timeline thing going, like everything changes. But in this show, Loki's show is kind of different because it's like another time branch something. So only if one thing changes, it doesn't really change the whole timeline. So they always can reset the timeline. But in Legends, like one mistake leads to a butterfly effect. So everything changes in the whole world kind of. So always need to be careful and not to screw up in the job, something like that. So I kind of like it more in Legends. But it's okay, let's get on with the story. And then like the last scene was the Asian got kidnapped, and then the show, of course, then Loki point of view, he was talking to a hologram something, kind of being bored, and then Mobius go to him. Of course they have to work together because Mobius told him what happened with the other Asians, and the first time ever that other Loki kind of kidnapped a person, because the person actually never do that. So of course they need again Loki's help, because who else knows him better than himself. So I also like the scene where Mobius is talking with Loki about many variants of Loki out there, and they even showed how they look like. For example, there's a Hulk Loki out there, even with Sadia Loki, and spoiler alert, if you already watched episode, a female Loki as well. So then Mobius, they go back to the fair, now with Mobius and Loki of course, to catch the other Loki. And then the other hunter, B15, also joins them, other agents. I forgot to mention her, she was also in episode 1. And she's so fun because she really hates Loki and really doesn't trust him like Morbius does. So anyway, he did trick them, and Morbius almost fell for it because he said something about that Loki's out there trying to catch them, but he only wanted to have like some access to the timekeepers, something like he wanted to gain something for himself, like what he always does. And even us fans always believe in Loki that he want to do the right thing in the end. Like Thor every time falls for his tricks. It's like us fans always like, oh god, this time maybe Loki can change. But then again, he tried to trick them, but Mobius didn't fall for it, so I guess he's that smart. So back at the TVA headquarters, they're gonna find more clues about the timekeepers. I mean, Loki tried to find more clues. He found a file, and it's called Destruction of Asgard. Like, you know the Thor movie, Ragnarok? Everything was destroyed because of Hela and that other thing that helped her, I forgot the name. And so it was so sad to see that also, because in the movies they don't really show how sad it was. But still, Thor 3 is like the best movie for me. It's like such a comedy movie more than the tragic one, even though it really has dark aspects to it, because everything was like destruction, countless of death what Hela created. And she killed like all his friends at that time. Like even before destruction, they were already dead before, and so many people died and in that place, and Loki was not even there. That other Loki, I mean. So seeing Loki like tearing up and seeing like his homeland destroyed was so emotional to see without this comedy in it, because in the movies, this movie is like so comedy a little bit, but actually it's more tragic side to this, because he lost the only home that he ever known. So, and because of that fight, he realizes something, that the variant is probably hiding at an apocalypse site, and he doesn't know where, like what year, because it kind of makes sense, because the time, it's like everyone's supposed to be extinct, so no one will notice like a new branch opening, so no one will notice that someone is in that timeline. So then he goes to Morbius, explains that, which was so funny how he explained it. So he said something like he want to go to Ragnarok, but then Morbius said no, he doesn't trust him because maybe he's just scheming everyone and wants to go back to his homeland. That's why Loki said no, it doesn't have to be there, maybe some other place. So they decide to test it out. So that's what he's thinking about. And then they go to Pompeii, like in, what year was it? Like at 60 or something. I know, really, really way back. So, and Loki always wants to be right. And that's why Mobius said, okay, we can go there. And so they went there, and then Loki was, of course, right. Because, of course, how will the timeline affect things if everyone is extinct? Because they're all supposed to die. And they can't change that. It's like a really smart way to hide for the other Loki, variant Loki, because who else will know what happens there? Because they can do anything they want. It's a funny scene, like Loki saying he's from the future. It doesn't even matter, because in seconds, they're suddenly liberated. He proved Mobius right. They already figured out where Loki is hiding, like the variant Loki, and he's hiding in 2050. So our future, there's another apocalypse happening. I think like a global climate or something. Like there's like a storm and everything destroyed. Anyway, so they go there. It's a place in Alabama, and a place called, the store is called Rock's Card. So they go inside there to find the variant Loki. And then at this point, Loki gets confronted with himself. So I really love this scene when Loki confronts Loki, because they're kind of still similar thinking. So Loki, like, who's clever, him or the other Loki? And he even admits himself that he can be annoying at times. For example, like if Thor is talking to Loki, like, please Loki, listen to me. He never listens, just like that Loki. Then he realizes, I'm that annoying to other people? I guess, yeah. So this is a funny scene. And by the way, it wasn't really the real Loki. She like possesses other people to do the dirty job for her. And yeah, for her, because later on she kind of revealed herself, and it's the Lady Loki. Like in the comics it's called like that. We don't know for sure if she's really Lady Loki. Maybe she's Enchantress or like other person, because her hair's like blonde. But she wore like this crown, like what Loki always wears. It's like, oh my god, what a twist.
So, lady.
So anyway, I really like this episode, because like they really did so much in this episode, only episode 2. That's why you need to wait for next week's episode to know more about that person, because that's how Marvel do it so well. Like it's kind of like WandaVision, because everything was a question. Who was the real Quicksilver? Was it him from X-Men? Is it not him? Is he Ralph Boner really? It's like this, like maybe it's not really Lady Loki, maybe it's another person. And who knows, because that person's also Trickster, because it's still Loki. And also Loki's a trickster, and we never know if you can trust him or not. And in the end, we don't know for sure, because he decided to go with her to the portal. And the lady did something. She set up kind of like bombs around like TVA headquarters, so they're kind of in danger and in attack. And so I don't know what happened to them. But anyway, he chooses to go after her. So we don't know for sure. I think the question is now, is Loki going undercover, trying to help the TVA and Mobius? Or maybe he wants to work with her, because she's also like smart, and like they both can work together because they're both Loki. And I don't know yet. I don't know if he can really trust Loki, but I feel like he does trust Mobius, and Mobius trusts him. And I don't think it's the last to see of them both together, because it's such an iconic duo. And I really think Loki gonna do the right thing in the end, because the Loki we know he did the right thing in the end. He did help Thor in Ragnarok in the end. And also, of course, his last fall in Infinity War. He did everything to protect his brother. That's why I think there's a good side still in him. So I'm so excited for the next week's episode. These 2 episodes are so good, and I really enjoyed it. I'm always a fan of time traveling and magic combined even. So I really wonder what Lady Loki and the Loki, like what are their plans and what they're gonna do next. I mean, the 2 together, it must be quite dangerous. But I think Loki's the only one who can stop her, so I think he did a good decision following her. By the way, I'm sorry that it came out so late, because actually it's not my time slot. I always post like Wednesdays and Saturdays, so this video today is out, it's already Thursday. It's because yesterday I did a celebration with my aunt. It was her birthday, so we kind of celebrated the whole day, and so I didn't have time to watch the episode, I didn't have time to film it, and my sister didn't have time to edit it. So sorry for that. Hoping next week is gonna be right on time again. So if you do, please give a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to subscribe and comment down below what you think of this week's episode and what are your favorite moments. Also, don't forget to put on the post notifications so I know exactly when I upload about every Wednesdays and Saturdays. See you guys in my next video. Bye.